All right, folks, we're back from the break, and we're just actually having some hiccups trying to make this map. We wanted to be courteous and try and make the GSL version again, but we can't find the map. And I'm wondering, like, if it's actually a name where we would need to know Korean to do. Oh, yeah. What kind of replays? What is it called over there? GSL, yeah, GSL map of Bizzle Reef. Huh. Maybe if I just write GSL map. Well, if I do just GSL map, I see Echo and Habitation Station, but not Bizzle. Blizzard, please, why you like this? Well, at least if we find it once, we can bookmark it and never have to work on it again. But I cannot find this map actually. No matter what I do here.
I can't find.
Just make the latter edition, whatever. If they're really upset, we can have them host it for us. But anyways, the Bizzle Reef will be the first map in this best of 3 semifinals. So again, we got this best of 3, then one best of 5. Actually, just thinking, shouldn't Golden have been able to find this if it required any sort of Korean searching?
I don't think it does require Korean searching, but he could have asked.
Because I'm now realizing maybe Blizzard search engine doesn't search off of titles, but like of descriptions. Because there's been several instances where we definitely haven't been able to find a map based on its title before, right?
Yeah, it's true, but what was really dumb, I was super complaining about the search engine on Blizzard, is that 2 people can search the same thing and have different results.
Yes.
One person can search different words of the same title and have different results. Like if you search Abyssal, but then you search Reef, like there's a chance that neither one comes up with Abyssal Reef. Like it's really stupid.
This happened. We were trying to do that transition into the new maps between seasons, and players and us, or you and me even, we would look for Abyssal and not find it on some servers when other people could. And it's the whole thing. But anyways, complaints aside, we're just going to go with the latter edition. It's what we've been using, so I don't think it's a big problem that we're going back to it. It's Solar versus herO, though. And remember, the winner of this goes on to fight against BaseTradeTV.
Yeah, so I guess if it's if someone chooses Abyssal Reef in the finals, maybe BaseTradeTV will do it again.
Yeah, maybe.
That'll fix it all.
Well, folks, game number 1. Kicking it off here on the top left side of the map. He's blue, he's Protoss, and he's on Root Gaming. Give it up for herO.
In the bottom right is the red Zerg for Splice. He is Solar.
I don't know who to cheer for. I was kind of making some jokes as I was stating it. Like, it would be really nice to have a PvZ finals and have herO advance on, but I think Solar and BaseTradeTV could actually give a very entertaining ZVZ at the same time. And this map,
I really want herO.
I will say definitely the GSL thing made this part whiter and a lot less blue.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't mind. It might have been something specific to BaseTradeTV's settings that was even vastly different. We just wouldn't know because we don't watch him play. Yeah, I'm definitely cheering for herO. I really liked his play so far. Not just the cheese and all-ins, but just the emphasis on micro has been really cool to watch. It's beautiful watching the macro play for Protoss as well, if you really know the difficulties of positioning and you know, guesswork facing versus Zerg and all that. But it's a lot more obviously cooler when it's just the micro. So I would hope to see something similar against Zerg, against Solar. But I feel like right now, PvT is like a wacky world of fun new tricks, and PvZ is kind of like, well, everyone just get back to normal.
Yeah,
back
actually, that is a good way to place it, because we haven't seen a lot of crazy diversity. I'd say there was initially, like as we saw DTs and other things start emerging, but then that became standard very quickly. Well, not wasting time with the probe, he does take his 3rd as the natural, or natural as the 3rd, however you want to phrase that. His 2nd base up here at the 3rd location. There you go. And herO's probe still just sticking around, being very annoying. So Solar can't quite get that 3rd hatchery down. But it is worth noting, like, if this goes on for too long, Solar is very willing to be like, you know what, screw it. Let's make a lot of lings. Let's all in this.
Yeah, if you... His speed is so late, though, that it would have to be some really wonky slow ling all-in, which would include having to hide the lings until there's enough of them, and that just... it wouldn't be possible with this probe concept being here. So You're just gonna have to deal with a later third despite whatever opener he wanted to do. And it is quite annoying. A lot of Zerg players find this so annoying they even intentionally do builds that have a hatchery a little bit sooner. So the probe is like 1 second too late. It sucks, but alright, takes it now. Third base is down. herO's getting his wall off. He went for the classic wall off, I guess. A lot of Protosses are taking on stats as wall off, or what we saw from Deer. But this is the...
I really do like that one actually though, because it kind of it lets you pick between two locations, whereas this one definitively chooses one, which means you could get attacked from the other side.
Yeah.
It's
you know, pros and cons for each, because this one has a very strong wall off. If he scouts that it's like a Baneling bust, he can just put down 2 more gateways, and that'll be no pylon weakness, no zealot weakness. This other one would have a pylon weakness. It's like there's no all-in, so it's kind of.
Well, gonna take an abrupt segue here to swap over and do a bit of advertising. I would like to note that we are getting very, very, oh so very close to reaching our 12,000 sub mark on YouTube. It doesn't really mean much, but it's just nice to have that number push over. So we're at 11,972 people subscribed. If you're watching the channel right now, you're not subscribed to our YouTube. Hell, maybe you don't ever really use YouTube. Still appreciate it if you go over to youtube.com/BaseTradeTV and hit that subscribe button. Also, I'm now being aware we still have a G2A tab in there I need to remove because we're not sponsored by G2A anymore.
Yep. Well, we certainly like the numbers. It would be a cool number to hit.
For those who don't know, by the way, as a side note, we don't actually make any money from our YouTube. All that goes towards Joey, aka Nice Username, who does a lot of back-end stuff for a lot of folks in StarCraft. So the reason I advertise it is because I wish I could afford to pay him some really awesome salary. Instead, we just give him all the YouTube money. So anything we can do to try and help Joey out, I'm more than happy to push.
In one day, and there's 50,000 viewers per VOD.
That would be
we'll
nice.
Be making hundreds of dollars.
That'd be like $50 a video. I'd take that. So Joey,
we do upload all the videos.
Yeah. All right, so we do have the push out of herO. It's actually coming with a mothership core though, so this can sometimes be in danger of being out of position, especially with how small it is. But the mothership core is that escape plan. She's that recall to go back home if things get too nasty.
Luckily, the AI goes along the ridge anyway against a wall. So if the militia core was out of position, the sentries would have been there to force field. But if they are caught out in position going through a very open space, then the militia core not being able to recall would be just terrible, basically. So this is a risky move. Like, do not advise non-pros to do something like this. So you're feeling really, really cool, then you can try it. As this isn't really intended to do a whole lot. Like, this is a bit of pressure to stop Solar from droning, but also to stop him from trying to attack you in your third base. With these lings, for instance, which we're trying to find an opening in the bases, but instead have to come back and try and make sure this set of units doesn't do anything surprising. Because if you don't take the set of units seriously, they could actually kill a couple of drones at your third. But they're recalled, and we're on our way to charge. High Templars. Solar is going for that Spire again. Just the 7-8 mutas is coming back in a style really hard. They,
what's nice is what's it? 10 mutas is 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. Those can do way more than that in damage, especially to probe lines, picking up stalkers here and there. I mean, you only really need to kill like 4 or 5 stalkers to make that cost effective, right?
Yeah, like the last game, Bjol, his mutas were exactly what you want from him. They took out 4 stalkers, then they took out 10 probes, and then another 10 probes later, and I think severely distracted the Protoss player as well. So that's what Solar would hope for too. No, Solar, he got Lings, but then went to Hydras and Aspire pretty quickly. So his upgrades aren't really here, and that is something to note as herO is on his way to +2 in Blink. And, I guess he stopped building charge. Interesting. Okay, so a mistake charge. He meant to go for Blink Stalkers. Anyway, he's going to have well-upgraded Blink Stalkers. And if the mutas really don't do anything and herO pushes with this army, Solar might have a lot of trouble. Especially since his army could be surround-based, depending on how many Lings he gets. And they just won't be they may have a difficult time on Abyssal Reef getting us around.
Yeah, this map does have quite a few chokes and tough locations to push through. Not at all like Newkirk, where it's just got like this wide open engagement area in the middle. Even in the middle of this map, there's still chokes here, here, here. Like, it's actually pretty tough to get that. However, what it has provided though is these weird opportunities where we've seen a lot of pincer moves, a lot of back attacks, and the chokes do provide some limited vision, so the attacker doesn't get to see that unit squad move out to the right and try and surround sometimes. So there's potential here for Solar, all things considered, but right now his mutas have only killed about 1 probe. This really hasn't been worth it just yet, but it has kept herO at home at the very least.
I think herO is about ready to move out though, so it was like it kept him at home, sure, but only in so much that it allowed him to wait for +2 and Blink to be done, which is what it was really waiting for anyway.
Yeah, that's got me worried. The +2 is a huge deal.
I'm about Solar pushing into this as well. Like, that's going to make it a little bit easier for herO even. Now, Solar's mutas could still kill a Warp Prism, either that's trying to harass him or just, like, snipe it during the attack, and that can save a life, man. Like, that can stop 6 extra Stalkers from warping in, which would have been just the same, like, the needed amount to hold on. But these Banelings, they've got to actually get some nice hits. There's not too many force fields. We don't need too many force fields on most of Abyssal Reef. So we'll see how it works out. This is still a pretty wide area that he's attacking into now. These mutas aren't going to be able to do too much.
Oh, I don't like that. I think he just kind of left them alone while he's looking elsewhere. That cost him a lot. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, he pulls the drones out, so he's willing to give up that 4th base. I guess he does take another one down here. But this army out of herO is just too scary to engage upon right now.
Definitely smarter to give up that base, but I just don't see where Solar's really going to get the best possible situation for him. He might still win the fight, but it would be like, you know, much better if his lanes get us around and the Stalkers could run out of room to micro back or blink back.
It's so funny seeing so many Banelings having been invested into, 26. It's obviously not going to be super effective, but it is one of those things where, you know, if the Stalkers blink in, the Banelings could catch them. As long as they can hit about 4 Stalkers with each hit, like, that's going to be a lot of extra damage, despite the fact that they don't have bonus damage. Caught on the bottom side, though, the Immortals are cut off. They get cut off with some force fields, but unfortunately hit from the right side, too.
That was super awkward. I think the Blink Stalkers might have been able to tango the top side sooner, and maybe even could have saved a sentry or 2, but they were really scared, so they retreated initially. Now we're back to herO having more control and not being split up or AI'd on, and this seems intentional to go forward like this.
Solar's incidentally worked himself into a bit of a pincer move too, as herO's hitting from both sides. Very aggressive blink forward, realizing the Banelings were gone. That's going to get him really close to those Hydras, and bodies are blocking. Get out of here! I'm trying to watch the fight! Jesus!
They're so in the camera. Oh god, that was so bold, but right, the Banelings were gone, the Lings were gone, it was just the Hydras, and they are not super well upgraded. We even have Colossus on the way. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's like the campaign. They came from underwater, Rifkin. They came back to the Protoss from the underwater things water.
I hate you right now. No, during that fight, I was literally waving my hand in the screen, like trying to brush them off. Like, that was kind of ridiculous. Yeah. But I don't think that may have been a problem with the players. Again, they play on lower physics. They don't see the same silliness that we do. Play on lower graphics of that too. But Darius actually brought up a really interesting point in chat. They didn't realize how close Solar was to qualifying for the monthly finals. If he doesn't win this best of 3, he doesn't qualify. But if he does, regardless of how he does in the finals, he'll qualify through to the monthly finals.
Oh, that is good, good knowledge. Well, the Colossus are certainly going to help against the Banelings and Hydras. We do have Lurkers on the way from Solar, but only a handful. And that would still be something that the rest of the army could take care of.
Yeah, so the reason I like the Colossus for this quite a bit, like in the past, I'm talking like early HOTS, right? Colossus were great against Hydras. The Hydras had low health and low mobility. Now they're faster than ever. They've got range for certain. I don't think the Colossus are good versus bad against the Hydras, but I think they're going to be exceptionally good against just washing the Lings off of the army, basically. Stalkers aren't going to have to waste shots. Nobody's going to get stuck blinking awkwardly because the Lings will be taken out so quickly. Ideally, at least.
Yeah, the perfect scenario. Stalker's a little bit awkward. Maybe they could jump the ridge. They can't.
This is where you really wish you had like a Colossus just shooting beams into that little choke of Lings there, but the Colossus come out a little bit, unfortunately, out of position, but he does push this back without losing too much. I think was that the Cybercore that died?
Yeah, hopefully he remembers to rebuild it.
As I said, it's a pretty big deal not being able to morph in stalkers when this is the investment for this game. But these ones going to get caught. They'll take out a couple lurkers on the way out, which isn't too bad. It's already trading up to the best of their capabilities. But I think he's a little too deep into Zerg territory right now.
Stalker's just getting blown apart, taking swims up to the surface. But this is distracting Solar's army, so while it looked like a significant advantage, suddenly like all those Stalkers are dead. It now pushes with the beefier units, the Colossus, Immortals, and the Archon. And oh no, Solar has put himself back up on that ramp. He managed to get down. That is super important.
This Colossus, I think he wanted to micro in the Warp Prism, but got it picked off immediately, so the Colossus not going to be so good as the Hydra starts splitting. Corruptors even pop, and herO's army is just falling apart. Colossus are floating to the surface of the water! What?
Oh, he did forget his Hammer X Core for, you know, that extra 30 seconds he forgot was really important. He had to reinforce with Zealots that just don't...
I don't think losing the Cybercore in terms of like Stalkers was so bad, but the fact that he couldn't make more sentries was certainly horrible. There's no Guardian Shield, there's no Force Fields, and I guess going back to the Stalkers, there's nothing shooting up against these poor Corruptors who... they've taken out all the Colossus. This is really bad for herO.
Yeah, herO did get himself into that position. That's totally on him. But he was pretty close to controlling the main ramp of the main natural and third with 3 Colossus. And that suddenly is Solar losing all of his Hydras and, you know, maybe a win for herO in an ideal world.
Once he identifies there's no Colossus, he may just go Caustic Spray a building.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Disruptors all go down. Their army survives, although that one Lurker does not have protection to take it out.
Awkward.
Yeah, he's building Observers now, but I guess he doesn't have any on the map at all. He is also moving forward with his Stalkers. He really wants to just add like any amount of Hydras that are being chased down. He wants to break that 5th.
Look at the income graph, by the way. I knew Solar was doing well. I didn't realize just... Like, Solar's taking really bad fights, but he's been able to afford to do that up to this point. My concern, though, is his 5th did get knocked down. And even though he's on 76 drones, he's actually going to be mining out of a lot of these bases shortly.
Target it. Oh, I didn't target it. Yeah, that's definitely true. If herO could add on Storm, that would probably be a worthwhile investment now that Colossus are no longer an option.
Oh, if there's a way to detect the Observer here, that would have been amazing. Corruptors could have sacrificed themselves and there'd be no way to stop the Lurkers.
The Lurkers weren't targeted, I don't think, so 2 of them chunked away pretty important bits of health. Still forced to pull the drones and Lings, though, and I cannot believe that 5 Protoss, 7, including the Observers, might just do it here.
He sends the Corruptors across the map, and I think he's looking to Caustic Spray something, bit of a counter, maybe try and get herO to waste Warpins at home.
He doesn't want the Broodlings to kill his Immortals. Oh, this is good. Now that 4th base is important, probably equally as important as Solar's 5th base going down, but herO's got reinforcements, he's got Archons, even if his minerals are down, and he might have enough momentum to win.
Well, he's gonna have to use that momentum because he has no real mining after this. His main natural and thirds are all pretty much gone, so... Solar, if he can just find a way to hold on, might still win this game, but it's not looking good. He doesn't have a lot to fight with. Pulling drones continuously. Did he snipe the Observer?
No, he didn't. He saved them just barely.
Yeah, both of them at half health. GG. herO takes the first game in this best of 3.
That was truly a roller coaster.
It was, especially because we now know that there's quite a bit riding on this too. But, all right, guys, we're going to go to a commercial break as we get into game number 2. Sit tight. We'll figure out which map Solar wants next, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, we're back getting into game number 2. Took a little bit of time to get the map, but Palladino Terminal was ultimately Solar's pick. But he's up 1 point, and he spawns in the top left side of the map. Playing for Root Gaming, it's the blue Protoss herO.
In the bottom right has the red Zerg. He's Solar.
Got that splice representation going on.
Presentation? No, that didn't work. Oh. Shut it down.
New sub hype. Thank you to Wissam for the Twitch Prime sub.
Zabrasvin also is a new sub during the break.
Yeah, I missed that. Thank you very much. We are currently at 1,228 subscribers, which is cool because I was afraid after the Christmas boon, everyone had this really awesome hype from Christmas generosity and everything. I thought we'd really start falling behind, but no, we've just continued to keep going up, which is great. I mean, we're nowhere close to 2,000 for the next unlock, but hey, you know what? It's starting to look like a possibility by the end of the year.
It is pretty cool. You know, it's really you keep bringing it up, and it's not wrong. But I'm just like really surprised that Christmas ends up being such a good month. Not for the ad revenue. The ad revenue makes sense, but my thinking would be that everyone's so worried about buying things for like family, friends in real life, like their own gifts for themselves. They want to treat themselves. That they think Twitch would be the last on the list.
Immediate counterpoint to that, because I actually value a lot of the folks I watch streaming, girls or otherwise. Calm down, everybody. They're people I would pick first for a gift than some of the real life people I know. Like, for example, it's no secret I'm a huge fan of Loser Fruit, and she had like an Amazon Christmas wish gift. She was the very first person I bought a gift for that last year.
We're also deeply ingrained in Twitch and esports, so that's why I figured it'd be a big difference. But then the other big difference is that $5 is a lot less than, say, $25 is the minimum.
Yeah.
Buy-in for a present for a real friend.
You give a family member like a $5 gift card, and they're gonna just give you like the stink eye. You sub to BaseTradeTV, and you've made our day, right? Like.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We should bring that up more often. That makes it sound a lot better.
We're cost effective.
We're easy to please.
Well, regardless of that, no, it's just great because I know several other streamers have lost some of those numbers and they've been lamenting over it. But I'm very glad, very proud, and thank you guys for continuing to support the channel. But also, I guess it's worth noting this is the first year in like 3 years of doing this. Somgrub and I are finally deciding to take some of the sub money, which is cool.
Oh yeah, rolling in the money right now.
Like we've got money now enough to support events for the full year. Like we've budgeted. For those who don't know, who have not been paying attention, BTSL, Corsair Cup, and one other unannounced event so far, we've got 3 days of the week for the entire year planned out for continuous events and coverage. Then you add extra things like Tang or the map test tournament or, say, DreamHack qualifier coverage, Alima Leagues. Like, we are set for the year for the first time in like 3 years of doing this.
Even overwhelmed, so we didn't even do the IM qualifiers.
Yeah,
good
feels
feeling.
bad. Feels bad, feels good, same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's both, I guess. So that little scenario that just happened kind of sucks for herO because he did open up double gateways. One maybe because of Paladino, but other maybe another reason is that he did want to be aggressive. But he got distracted and hey, that's not a wall.
Oh
I'm
no!
pretty sure he thought that was a wall.
Solar thought it was too because he didn't bother trying to go around initially. That does let these things in. It's a little bit of chaos. Now it's not killing a lot of probes, but it already screws with the mining, and of course is a lot of scouting given. When normally you would hope that, the Zerg player doesn't get in here with Overlords until much later.
It's just so much...
It's so awkward.
It takes so much time to clean up. These adepts just do not deal well with them. Like charge lots are easy peasy. Even stalkers can go ahead and chase them down, but this is just going to be really annoying. And this has distracted herO twice and also made his probes go off the mineral lines twice now. And it's good for Solar. And herO did not have the most effective opener. The game continues.
Well, he was going to plop down a robo immediately after cleaning up those things. Like, I don't know if that was something he was waiting to do or if that just timed out as such, but no scouting on this whatsoever. And if this is something like I'm wondering what gets paired up with this. On one hand, I want to say Disruptors, but that's more of like a versus Terran thing to do this quickly. But I see the War Prism coming out right away.
So, I want to say he did this yesterday. You know what? That might make sense against Terran too. But I think the idea might be similar in that you get like 1, maybe even 2 disruptors early on, and then
Fix the
that
wall,
deals.
by the way.
Yeah, that's just so stupid. That deals with any early overwhelming unit pressure that Protoss has to deal with, and then you go into something more stable like Immortals or Colossus, which deals with additional tech and better units and whatever. So it is going to be disruptors with that warp prism speed on the way, and that is cool.
I wonder whose names those are. Is it like the map maker, like Travis, and then like a Clan Egg or something? Or
Travis sounds like a familiar map maker name, but I don't know the other two.
Oh, that's kind of cute. I love. We've been finding small Easter eggs, and I kind of forgot to keep looking for them. Like last season, I didn't even think about it. Like they're bringing back a lot of old recycled maps, so I stopped caring about looking for Easter eggs because we found them before. But what was that one map we were cast? We found like a hidden meat rack and stuff. Like
Proxima?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just cool seeing that there's still Easter eggs hidden in the map.
Yeah. This is going to be an all-in. I like this even better than the whole, like, macro out of it type thing. Yeah. Or maybe it will be. Because Paladin's always a little bit hard to tell.
He's hitting the gateways very much intentionally. He's got Gravitic Drive coming out, too, for the fast warp for some speed. This Disruptor shot causing some chaos. First one, not too bad.
is a case too where getting a good army shot is totally worth it. Where if it's one of these like harassment openers and getting an army shot, it's kind of like, well, if you don't follow up, it's gonna replace it. So I think Solar will be successfully tricked here, and I do like this a lot. And it's like an additional trick too, because Paladino is kind of a tough map to call an all-in or not, since you do usually want to get gateways before third base with the size of the map and all. So even if he's scouted, like if these gateways weren't hidden, maybe he's like, oh, okay, I see a probe to third base, I guess maybe he'll take it. But that probe that I think faked going to the third base was just picked off by a Ling, and Solar still has not seen these hidden additional extra gateways. He hasn't seen anything at all in the main base.
And this is so many sentries that have been made this early, by the way. Finally, revelation of the army. I guess army revealed, rather, not revelation. And this push, though, like, it's so weird to look at, but 8 sentries is a lot. There's not nearly enough Ravagers to break those force fields.
This is the best position possible for Solar right here. If he has to retreat at any point, he's probably
that disruptor!
And that just forced him to retreat. Not quite far enough for the force fields to be abusive, but you can definitely see where the disruptor is like that little bit extra besides just straight up killing a bunch of units.
Well, force fields are perhaps going to get broken, get smashed over there.
This is a really cool build. Force fields are plentiful enough to, yeah, definitely create the concave right there. Looks like it might be game. The army supplies are even, but considering Protoss versus Zerg, it's usually not favorable for the Zerg.
Oh, Roach gets chased down by the hit. Baneling's still going to get force fielded away. I'm surprised there's any energy left for force fields, but hero's still... The army supply is not overwhelming yet. There's not 3 immortals for this. There's only 2. No. And that disruptor's waiting to get another shot off. I'm more impressed that the War Prism hasn't been taken down. It's been sitting on red health forever. But this is starting to get possibly a little too far out of hand. It's still... The army supplies are still matching. But it's Roaches versus immortals.
Yeah, the unit type is so much better for herO, and he still has the War Prism micro too, so it's really like he also has Blink on top of this, which is just insane. Solar is... Got boobies! The Pleasure Core doesn't have any other use, I guess time works okay. And she's also soaking up the damage from the Queens instead of that War Prism. Way to go, girl. This is very close to being it. I think Solar doesn't want to tap out, not only because the army supplies aren't so bad, but also he has a 4th already. So he's like, oh, maybe I'm okay.
This is crazy cool out of herO, though. I mean, this is hardly typical PvZ, especially in the second game, right? Disruptor, fast War Prism, all that, but more to the point, like, to clean up Solar 2-0 was not something I would have expected.
Nah.
GG?
GG!
While Solar might not qualify into the monthly finals, he's certainly going to have like first dibs if anybody who's currently invited can't attend. I will note that the date was pushed off for this, so if you guys haven't been keeping up to recent events and things with the channel, we have the Team Liquid / BaseTradeTV / Blizzard map tournament contest coming up, and we had to clear out like a whole week of our schedule to do that. So we had to push this BaseTradeTV, or sorry, BaseTrade StarLeague up. We had to push the finals later on off. So instead of being on the last Friday of this month, it'll be on like the March 2nd or something of next month. So yeah, there'll be a bit of time, and hopefully everybody who qualifies through it gets to attend. But I think that actually even solidifies, unless herO takes the finals here. But we do have the finals coming up. It's gonna be a best of 5, another PvZ. Zombie Grub's kitty cat looking adorable.
You want attention or something?
Oh, I love that little headbutt. That's so cute. Goes right for the heart. All right, well, there's the kitty kiss we were like, waiting for. We're gonna go to commercial break, guys. Sit tight. We'll be back with the grand finals when we return. It's gonna be herO versus BioL. We'll see you shortly.